There are plenty of ways to acquire real estate. There are plenty of ways to buy low and sell high and make money and capitalize on real estate investing. There's one way which I'm completely floored by, which I read about today and I'm going to share with you, in which not to do it. And I can't believe the world is in a state where this is actually a possibility, but sometimes the truth is stranger than fiction. And today I'm doing a little walk and talk in the community of Verona Lakes. And one of the things I like about this particular community is there tends to be a lot of American flags that are all over the neighborhood. And while I don't think it's necessarily particularly fashionable these days to be patriotic, I happen to be quite patriotic. And I'm proud to be an American. But I am not proud of what just happened in today's market. And I'm going to share it with you. And you really can't make this stuff up. But I'm reading this verbatim. It's a news article today, which was posted in the Sun Sentinel, that a man posed as dead woman's grandson to steal her home, move into it, and try to sell it. And to be clear, I'm always shopping for a good deal. I'm always looking for an undervalued opportunity. But the last thing I'm ever going to do is try to steal a home from a dead woman. And I think it goes without saying that you should never do that either. And I get it. Times are tough. There are a lot of folks out there that are suffering from financial pain. But at no point should anybody ever break the law in order to profit or make a quick buck through criminal fraud. But yet that's exactly what happened. A man posed as a dead woman's grandson to steal her home, moving into her 3-bedroom Tamarack residence with plans to eventually sell it. But yet that's what he did. And if he was a little bit smarter, he probably should have tried to play that same game on this house over here, because this house is incredible. And I would love an opportunity to purchase that home. Unfortunately, it's not for sale. And frankly, I'm not really shopping for a home for myself or my family to begin with. But if that house were to be for sale, you could bet your sweet bippy there's going to be ready, willing, able, and thoroughly happy buyers that would love to purchase it. But of course, again, they're probably not going to try to steal it and or pretend to be the owner's grandson and steal it. You've got to be a real derelict and a very special type of scumbag to try to pull this maneuver off. But nonetheless, somebody did, and they are accused of gaining access to the home, squatting there, and then planning to flip the home for about $500,000, profiting $500,000 from this scumbag action. Now, I don't know anything about the person accused of doing this, and of course, anyone who is accused of something is innocent until proven guilty, but the overwhelming evidence points to he did it. And the reality of it is, I wonder if he's curious about some of the first-time buyer programs that exist out there, or the Hometown Heroes program that exists out there, because there are lots of grants, aids, and all types of different programs to help people buy their first homes. But this guy is certainly not a hero of any type. He is most likely a criminal. But in this country, in the United States of America, you're innocent until proven guilty. But according to law enforcement, according to the police, according to the powers that be, this guy gave a Fort Lauderdale address during his arrest, and maintaining that his alleged grandmother had left him her home and filed fake documents with the Broward County Property Appraiser Office to demonstrate that that was true, which, to be clear, it's not true, or at least it's accused to be not true. because according to the prosecutor, he's been charged with fraud, filing false documents, and grand theft. And as a boots-on-the-ground operator of a high-performance real estate team, I have certainly encountered almost every possibility that could occur during a real estate transaction. And I've unfortunately had sellers that have passed away during the selling process. And I've had buyers pass away during the buying process. But I've never been exposed to this type of home fraud, which obviously becomes a horrible ordeal for the relatives who are grieving the death of their loved ones and who now have to cope with this additional burden and stress because they're being victimized. And evidently, there is a major crackdown that's happening on home fraud in South Florida. And truthfully, I didn't know that because I've not been exposed to that. But I will share, I'm completely disgusted that this is the type of thing that's happening right now in today's market. But the real owner of this home, who passed away at 96 years old, was targeted and victimized. And at some point, the accused filed a false statement, a personal statement, that purportedly claimed that the deceased and her late husband had decided that before the husband's death, they wanted their grandson to have the house so that he would have a place of his own. The only problem with that statement is that the accused is not their grandson. And not only is he not their grandson, he's not a relative at all. And as you might imagine, the actual relatives, the actual children of this poor woman who passed away, they're not exactly too happy about what happened. And I think it's obvious that everyone in their family is grieving, but could you imagine how much harder grieving is when some dirtbag is trying to steal the equity in that home away from them? It makes me freaking sick. But property records indicate that the original owners of this home, who have since passed away, who purchased it in 1982 for $145,000, the heirs to that property are sitting on a metric shit ton of equity. Because today, the home is worth somewhere in the neighborhood of $650,000 to $700,000. And while in some states there are efforts to defund the police, thankfully, Florida is not one of them. And thankfully, investigators got this in time. Thankfully, they arrested this guy in time. And thank the good Lord that this swindler, this scumbag, this accused fraudster did not benefit from the massive equity that exists in the home. And obviously, it's a disgusting indictment on what's happening right now in today's market. And it's probably not the first or last time that a fraudster is going to try to capitalize on someone else's good fortune or misfortune, because in this case, the poor homeowner passed away. But it's a disgusting display of humanity. And I hope that this never happens again. But thankfully, in this particular instance, the system worked, the bad guy got caught, and the rightful heirs to the home and the equity will receive what their parents and family wanted. And while I certainly cannot help you fraudulently steal a home, I can absolutely guarantee I can get you a steal of a deal in today's market, because the market conditions have changed. If you're thinking about buying or selling anywhere, please reach out, because we would love to help. Because ain't nobody overpaying on my watch, and ain't nobody not finding the one buyer on planet Earth willing to pay more than anybody else for their home if they're thinking about selling. So if I can ever serve or support you at the highest level, please reach out by clicking the link above or down below, and I will connect with you right away. Now, I hope you found this content valuable, and if you did, please subscribe to the channel, give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend. Check me out on Twitter, where I can never be censored. Follow me on Patreon, where I go off, and check out my next video, because I suspect you will love it a lot. And until next time, peace!